Hello, happy Thursday. It's Barbara Reed, the Wexford Stamper, coming to you today with another video tutorial. Today we're going to be focusing on the Forever Greenery Suite, and we are going to be making a lovely anniversary card, or it could be a wedding card, and then we're going to be making this cute little coffee treat holder. All right. So let's take a look at the products we're going to be using first. If you look in your catalog, it's on page 108, and it's called the Forever Greenery Suite. And it is just beautiful. The colors are so lovely. And they have incorporated the new Just Jade green, and they just use all the beautiful greens that are in the Stampin' Up! Color collections. And it's just a gorgeous set. And it comes with this pretty stamp set called Forever Fern. Has some really nice greenery images. And it also has some very nice sentiments. So I really love this set and have been using it on lots of things. But I think my favorite part of it is the die set. And it is a large die set. And it has these lovely die cuts of all different types of greenery. It also has die cuts that will cut out all of your little pieces, okay, that you can stamp. But then there's lots of more die cuts that you can use just to decorate. And I've used them with so many cards that I just really love them. And they are such a great addition to any card. So, all right. Let's go ahead and get started. Put this over here. What we're going to be doing here is we're going to be working on the anniversary card first. Now, I've done cards like with this technique in the background here before, and we've called it the sticky strips or something, and we cut strips that were kind of on an angle. Now this one, I've cut these very straight. These strips are straight, and they're either 1/2 or 1/4 inch wide. And I'm just gonna kind of line them up. And I love doing that with this set because all the papers in the set are so gorgeous. And this kind of gives you an idea of what those papers look like all together. And they just coordinate so beautifully and make such a nice presentation on the front of the card. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on the card. All right, let's bring in our paper for this. Okay, we're going to be using the Just Jade. I just love this color. I think it's just so gorgeous. And this is one of the new ones. This is in the new In Color collection. And then you're going to need 2 more panels of Just Jade. And one is going to be 4 by 5 1/4. That's going to go right on the front of the card. And then you're going to have another card that is 3 3/4 by 5. So they're just going to kind of stack in on top of each other. One is 1/4 inch smaller than the one before. So we're going to take the smallest one first, and this is where we're going to do our strips, use our strips to make our background. Okay, so what I'm going to do first, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use just a snail. And I'm going to put some snail adhesive along the front of the card, both horizontal and vertical. I do this instead of glue because it's a lot less messy, because we're going to be laying strips down, and that would take a lot of glue. So this works really well this way. Now here's my set of strips I've cut. They're at least 5 inches long because they have to be long enough to cover this vertically. And then they're either 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch wide. All right. And then all you do is the first one, you're going to go ahead and line it up along the side of the card, unless you get your knuckle stuck. And then you just push it down. Now at the end, we can cut off any excess on either the top or the bottom or the sides, so it's not a big deal. So don't worry about that quite yet. And then you can kind of alternate using either 1/2 inch strips or 1/4 inch strips all the way across. So here I was going to put my next one here. And I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to put it right up against the strip beside it. Now you don't have to do that. You can put a little space that you have a little of the Just Jade color coming through. It's really up to you. All right, then I'm going to put another one, and you just kind of choose kind of randomly the different patterns of paper to put down on your card front. Do that one there, and then just push down so that it's all touching the adhesive that you put down. And then I'm going to put a third, nope, I'm already up to the fifth one here. Fifth one, oops, let me put that down again. I pulled a little too hard, and I do have a tiny bit of the jade showing through in between mine, but that's really a preference, whatever you like. I love this little stripe one. This is a little tiny stripe. This is a little 1/4 inch. Push that down. Okay. Then we're going to go with, let's see, a couple more cute 1/4 inch ones. But it's a great way to use up scraps as well, of course. And just makes such a nice effect on your card. Okay, so there we go. Hi, Deborah. Good morning, or we're at lunchtime now, aren't we? Good afternoon. There we go. And then I'm going to put one last one here on the end. And then I'm going to grab my snips. So there it is. That's how easy that is. You just take the paper and then you're covering it with the strips. Now I'm just going to turn the paper over and take my scissors and just cut off any of the excess on all 4 sides of this panel. Really couldn't be much easier, and it's a great way, you know, with any set, any pack of Designer Series paper, because Stampin' Up! Does such a great job of coordinating it all that you can use those excess strips and make yourself a little panel like that. But that just came out so beautifully. And then you're going to go ahead and you're going to adhere that to the other Just Jade panel that you had cut. And I'm going to grab my glue for this one. Hi, Jerry. Good morning. Yes, I do too. And it's so easy to do. So don't throw away all those little strips that you have, especially of this paper. It's just so beautiful. Hope everybody's doing well and staying safe and healthy. All right, and there we go. So now that has a little border of the Just Jade around it. Okay, so that's going to be the front of my card. All right, now what I did for the focal point on the front is I used this label. This label is not from this set, but it is from a great set called Stitched So Sweetly. And look at all those fabulous labels you get in there. You got the nesting rectangles that are scalloped, and then you have all these great labels here. I love this set. This is one that I really use a lot. And with this big sentiment, I needed a big label. So that's the one I went with. So let me go ahead and dig down here and find. Okay, this is the sentiment I used. And this sentiment is from the Forever Fern that goes with this suite. And I'm going to grab my beautiful Just Jade ink. And I'm going to go ahead and try and get it in the center of my label. I'm going to slide it down a little bit closer to my face. And here I go. I'll do my best. Not bad. I'll take it. All right. So that's that. And then what I did is I took a piece of white, Whisper White, and then I took one of the greenery images from the Forever Fern. Let me grab that one again and show you. That has such beautiful, beautiful images. And they have new technology with the stamps so that they look shaded just with one stamping, and makes it really look so beautiful and realistic. So I took the Pear Pizzazz and I stamped that right onto my Whisper White. And if you look at that, you can see that, you know, it really has beautiful detail in that. And I just love how with only one stamping you have that beautiful shading. And then I took that to my die cutting machine and I cut it out with the die, and there it is, magically fast. And then what I did is I just put a little bit of glue on the back of it, and then that lays kind of here at the bottom, okay, of my label. All right, now you're going to notice here I did one of my favorite things again. I did the splattering. And you all know I've been doing a lot of splattering lately. I just love that technique, and I'm going to try it again and see how it looks. This time I used the Pretty Peacock, the light color, and I'm going to splatter a little bit on the label. Okay, if you haven't seen this before, what I do is I take the brush tip of my Pretty Peacock, and then I just kind of put it inside the lid and do a little bit of a flick. And you want to be very careful. You don't want to really push too hard and break your beautiful brush tip on your blend. But that gives it a little bit of just interest. I like that. I've always liked the splatter little stamps, and always like to do that. And that's kind of a cleaner way than trying to do it with water and things like that. So I just like that and how that adds a little bit to it. All right, now I'm going to grab a little bow here that I made out of the gold ribbon. There's a set of 2 ribbons that come with the suite, and I'm unfortunately out of the one, but I do have the gold, and this is beautiful gold thread. And we're going to go ahead and put that gold thread, see where there he is. Going to put him right on the top of the label. So I'm just going to take my bow, and I love the way this gold thread kind of frays at the end. After you cut it off, the ends will start fraying a little bit. You can see it right there, and that's just a pretty effect. I love that. It looks very natural. So I'm going to put that right at the top of my label. And now we're going to bring in the, oh, here it is under here. I lost it for a moment. I'm thinking, oh gosh. All right. Now this is going to go right on here. But before we lay that down, you can notice here on my sample, I put one of the little greenery die cuts in the back. And that is also in the Just Jade, and that's right here. So all I'm going to do for that is I'm going to put a little glue on the back of it. Now I don't try to glue the whole thing down because I kind of like it flapping a little bit. So I'll just put a little bit of glue on there and then just touch it down on my card front. Then I'm going to grab my dimensionals and I'm going to put the label right on top. Okay. Get those dimensionals off. Wow, I hear the mail cart. That's pretty early today. And then I'm going to lay this right across here so that you can see the little bit of greenery sticking out above. And there's our card front. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to slide in my card base, same color, the Just Jade, can't get enough of that. And then I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of the card front we just created. And that's how easy that card is, but you got to try that strip technique and post some pictures on the VIP page and let me see what you used. I really love the paper also from the Whale Done, with all the beautiful scenery from the sea and the coral and stuff like that. That would probably be a really great one to use too. So I'm going to just put that on the front, and there we have it. That can be a lovely wedding card, or it can be an anniversary card. Really, really pretty. Just gorgeous colors. All right, well, that's our card for today. And now I have this really adorably cute little 3D project. You know, many of you know that I'm going to be participating in a vendor show towards the end of the month. And I'm coming up with some cute little gift ideas that I want to share with you. And you can find out that they're really easy to make, and you can make them for friends. But this is a little coffee treat holder. I got this little Nescafe latte caramel coffee mix, and I made a little pouch for it. And I used that beautiful Forever Greenery paper, and it's so, so easy. I'm going to show you how to make this, okay? Let's go ahead and put it to the side. And all you need to make the pouch is a 6x6 piece of paper from this suite. Now, if there's so many gorgeous prints in this suite that it's really hard to pick, but this one was more of a fern type, and this one these look like little succulents or something, but it's, you know, whatever one you use is going to be just gorgeous. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use this one today. And this is a 6x6 sheet of the Designer Series paper, okay? Now, there's not a whole lot of scoring to do. So this is super easy. And what you're going to do is you're going to put your paper in, and you want to orient it so that if you have a design that has a direction, that it's facing upwards. So I wouldn't want to do this because my succulents are kind of going down that way. So I want to make sure that the succulents are upward. So that's going to kind of be the top of the pouch. Okay, so on this side, I am going to score at 1 3/4 inches. Okay, and then on this side, I'm going to score 1 3/4 inches in from this side, which is 4 1/4. Okay, so it's 1 3/4 in from both sides. And now this is the bottom, so I'm going to score at a 1/2 inch at the bottom, because that's going to be the little part that flaps up. Let me show you my pouch. You can see on the back here that there's a little portion that flaps up to close the bottom of the pouch. Okay, so you're 1 3/4 inches in from both sides, and then you have a 1/2 inch at the bottom. Now, all these dimensions will be on my blog, so you'll be able to see all these things. But that's all of the scoring we need for this little pouch. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fold on the score lines for my pouch. And you can see already how easily it comes together. It's just, that's the back. And then here's the bottom. And I'm going to use my bone folder and crease on all those score lines. And then we're going to do just a little bit of cutting. Since this middle section here is going to be the part that flaps up, I'm going to go ahead and cut off this outer thin rectangle along the bottom. And I'm going to cut off this outer thin rectangle along the bottom. Okay, so that only thing that's going to be there is that middle section. And then I took a little wedge off of both of those just to make it a little nicer as you put it together there at the bottom. So that's it. That's all the cutting that you're going to need to do. All right, so the first thing you're going to do now is just fold over either side, and then you're going to want to put, I'm going to use tear and tape today because you need something that's pretty strong, because the people are going to be taking that in and out. So we want something that's going to hold up to a little bit of let's see, a little bit of action. All right, so let's go ahead and take the backing off, and then we're going to just fold one end down, and then the side with your adhesive will go right over it. Okay, and that closes your pouch that easily. And now I'm going to take a piece of the tear and tape again, and we're going to put that right on that bottom. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and take off the backing for that. And look at that, folks. you have your pouch. Now let me grab my coffee from the other one and show you how easily that fits. And since it is a 6x6 sheet, you can use the smaller packs that the papers come in the 6x6 very easily. And you can get 4 of these out of a 12x12 sheet. So I made bunches of these for the vendor show, and I'll let you know how well they sell. All right, but we can't let it go here. We've got to do some embellishing on the front. Now for this one, I took some pretty peacock paper and I cut out the same die cut I cut out for the anniversary card in the pretty peacock instead. And then to add a little bit of glitz and glimmer, I cut out one of the die cuts using the gold glimmer paper. Okay, so we're going to use those two to embellish. But first we need to go ahead and make that little label. And I'm going to be using the set that I love and one I come back to a lot for making labels. And it is called the Layered with Kindness. This is a great set because it has the layered with love and layered with, oh, I can never remember the 2 names of these that come with the set, but they come with these 2 labels that punch the sentiments out. So I'm going to show you how that works. All right, now we're going to do the same as we have here, the For My Friend. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut out the large label, and to do that, I'm going to bring in the large label image, and I'm going to take on Pear Pizzazz, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp it on my Pear Pizzazz in Pear Pizzazz ink. Now it says Happy Birthday, but we're going to be putting another layer over top. So you could make it say Happy Birthday by stamping it again on white and then cutting it out with the smaller label. But let me show you how we're going to work on this one. Okay, I'm going to bring in the larger label punch, and this punches out so easily. I love the little detail on the label, the little curls. So there's our first step. Okay, then I'm going to bring in some white paper right here, some Whisper White, and we're going to use the For My Friend. Okay, and I'm going to bring back in my Pear Pizzazz, and here is the For My Friend image from the stamp set. I'm going to stamp it right on my Whisper White here. All right. Now I'm not going to be using that whole image. I'm just going to be using the sentiment part. So I'm going to come in with the smaller punch and just punch out this center section. I'm going to be sure to include the little swirlies there. I don't know what the technical term for that is, but I want to make sure I include those as well. All right, so there I have the For My Friend. Okay, so we are almost finished. These were really fun to make, and they were really quick to make. So that was really super nice. All right, so I'm going to go ahead now, and I'm going to put my label together. I'm going to put the For My Friend right on top of the Happy Birthday, so we're not going to see that part. And with the label, I'm going to set it right there in the center. There we go. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and put our die cuts on before we add the label. And I only used a half of this, so I just broke it in half, so I just have this section here. And to adhere these to the pouch, I just put a little bit of glue on the back of each of them. And remember, you don't have to worry about it being down perfectly, because it's all right if some of it sticks up. Makes it look more realistic, I think. All right, so I put a little bit on the back, and I'm just going to lay it on my pouch right there. And then I'm going to take my pretty gold piece, put a little bit of glue on there, and I just kind of laid it up right in the same area so that have a little peak of gold. Okay, now, last thing we're going to do, since the pouch is a little bit rounded. Hi, Lisa. Good morning. Nice to see you. Hey, it's okay if you're late to the party. We don't mind. We're just glad you're here. And you can always go back if there's something you see. All right, I'm going to go ahead. Since this is rounded, I'm just going to put the dimensionals in the center, okay? And then we don't really have to worry about trying to have it flat down around the curve. See, I did the same thing with this one. If you can see, I just put them in the center, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay this right on the center. And there you go. I have one last thing I need to do, and I'll show you what that is. I'm going to bring in a little piece of my braided linen thread or ribbon. Okay, and I'm going to grab my glue dots. And we're going to do our usual with our bow. We're going to stick it right to the glue dot. We're going to grab our pick tool. And I'm going to put that right beneath the sentiment. Let me get that guy down there. That's better. And there you have it. So there it is. And if you're interested, I can give you the link. I got these cute little coffees on Amazon. And but it's so easy to make these little pouches. They'd be great gifts to give people. Everybody likes coffee. So it's a really, really great gift. So those are my two projects for today. We had the anniversary card and we had the coffee pouch. So if you have any questions, or if you have to, if you're wondering about the dimensions, please go to my blog. It's thewexfordstamper.blogspot.com, and all the dimensions will be there, as well as this video tutorial as soon as we finish here. So I hope everybody has a great day and a great weekend, and stay cool. It is awfully hot out there. Take care, and we'll see you again real soon.